What's up, YouTube? Is I'm back with another story time. I know your girl been gone for about a week. Y'all chill on me. I've been trying to get all the important stuff out the way, y'all, so I can get a video out for y'all. Don't beat me up. Don't beat me up. As y'all see by that title, your girl be telling y'all how I found out I was pregnant for the second time. So with that being said, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, send it to a friend or a family member, and let's get into the story time. How I found out I was pregnant for the second time, y'all. So I'm gonna start at the very beginning, y'all. I first knew something was wrong, I'll say like 2 weeks after my birthday. Like 2 weeks after her birthday, we in there sleep. I was in there sleep or whatever, and next thing you know, I get these bad cramps out of nowhere. I'm talking about these cramps felt the worst. Like someone was literally stabbing me in my stomach. That's how it felt. So I'm tossing and turning all night. It got to the point where literally I was balled up crying. So at this point, I don't wake my boyfriend up and I'm like, my stomach hurt, I'm cramping. He's like rubbing my stomach. He's like, is it your cycle? I'm like, no, I already checked. Because before I woke him up, I had went to the bathroom to check. So I'm like, no. Then again, I'm like, I don't know. But, my stomach is cramping really bad. Like, I don't know. So when he would rub my stomach, the cramps would stop. The minute he stopped rubbing my stomach, the cramps will start up again. So this was going on for like 2 nights straight. So I'm like, what could be going on? So when I did talk to my doctor, I know she was like, my cycle could have changed due to, my first pregnancy or whatever. So that's what, I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of anything else but you're pregnant. Because even though I had Maya, I'm in my head like, it can't be me. It can't be me again. Not me. So I said another week go by, and I remember I had to do my sister's hair for school. So she wanted some medium plaits in her head or whatever. So I'm in the living room doing her hair, and next thing you know, I felt lightheaded out of nowhere, y'all. I swear to y'all, I'm braiding her hair, and I was just like, I'm moving side to side. I'm grabbing onto the chair because I'm like, hold on. I'm trying to breathe in and out because I'm like, that just came out of nowhere. Next thing you know, I falls on the sofa and I'm like, and I could not breathe for nothing. I was just so lightheaded. Like I could have sworn I fainted for a minute. And I told my sister just please scoot up a little bit, give me some air. I'm gonna finish your hair, but just give me a little bit of room. On the sofa. Next thing you know, I feel throw up coming up. Runs to the bathroom. I throw up. I'm like, okay, what the hell was that? So then we goes to the store, y'all. And this was the third time. We goes to the store. And I don't know how everybody else Walmart is, but our Walmart used to have like the little decorative trays where it's like bananas, apples, and oranges sitting by the door. Y'all, before I even entered the store, I could smell the bananas outside the store, and it made me gag and throw up. And I was like, I can't go in this way. I gotta go in the other way because I can't go in. Like every time I sniffed the smell of bananas, I was gagging, y'all. So I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. So I literally would walk all the way around just to go through the other double doors just so I wouldn't smell the bananas. Then, y'all, the fourth sign. I'm in a room watching TV or whatever, and my boyfriend had went in the kitchen to, cook breakfast. This man cooking everything else. I smell pancakes, I smell sausages, I smell bacon, but the minute I smelled them eggs, I just went to, ugh. I'm talking about some out of nowhere. I just went to, he like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, the eggs. I can't do the eggs. He was like, eggs? He was like, you was eating them before. You can't eat them now. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I can't eat them. I can't smell them. I can't nothing. I was like, please get them out my face. Crazy because like I was craving eggs, but I couldn't smell them because I would throw up. So I literally, if I wanted to eat them, I would literally have to hold my nose. So y'all, it was just too much, y'all. So he had asked me, he was like, you sure you don't want any? And then, so I'm like, yeah, I want some. But at the same time, y'all, like I said, I was craving them so bad. I was craving eggs so bad. So I'm like, yeah, I want them. Y'all, I put that fork up to my mouth and ate them eggs. And out of nowhere, I'm talking about, so when I said I had to run to the bathroom because throw up just came shooting out my mouth like uncontrollably, like just shooting out my mouth. And I was throwing up so bad to where I started throwing up water. Like that's how bad it was. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, I think it's time for me to make a doctor's appointment. I said, because, no, something ain't right. I was like, I don't miss my cycle. I was like, I was cramping real bad, but my cycle didn't come on. I'm lightheaded. I'm sleepy. I was like, something, is going on. So he's like, okay. So I makes my OBGYN appointment. Go there, boom, positive. They're like, oh yeah, you're about 14 weeks. I'm like, 14? You say 14? So she's like, yes. I'm like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I don't know what it was, but I couldn't even tell my boyfriend like over the phone or through text that, I just found out that I'm pregnant again. So when I got home, I went to his house and I was looking at him, and I had brung the papers with me. So he was like, what did they say? Are you feeling better than third? I gave him papers and it was highlighted pregnant. So he was like, wow. Like, he wasn't like upset or sad. Not that I wanted him to be, but he was just like smiling and happy. And I'm just like, you don't trap me again. He don't trap y'all girl again. We, decided to keep this pregnancy to ourselves because it was just so much negativity and, dark spirits and this, that, and the third. We didn't want any of that to interfere with, our pregnancy. Not saying it was like directly to us, but it was like tensions in the family, people around us. And then you also don't know like what kind of secret animosity other people have towards you. So to enjoy the pregnancy, that we was expecting, we like kept it to ourselves, like nobody knew. Yep, I had my first pregnancy and I definitely had my second pregnancy because it's not nobody else's business. Like, no one is helping taking care of my child but us. So why was everybody need to be in my business to be nosy? So I just was, going to my doctor's appointment regularly. Nobody asked no questions. I didn't answer no questions. I didn't tell no business. So, I was going to my appointments, doing my checkups, taking my vitamins. Everything was perfectly good, my baby. But y'all, it was so funny how everybody found out I was pregnant. They found out I was pregnant when it was time for me to go into labor, y'all. That shit was funny. I'm going to my mama's house doing TikToks and videos. She not even knowing that I'm pregnant. I'm to myself, I got on my boyfriend hoodie, stomach big as hell, but I'm steady doing, TikToks, videos, dancing, laughing around the yard and shit. His mama walking past her like nobody knew I was pregnant, y'all. And it was crazy because I'm like, baby, I'm one of those you could tell a secret to and you could be like, don't tell nobody, not take to the grave. Because the way nobody knew about my first and second pregnancy, going to the store, nobody knew. I'm going to doctor's appointment, nobody knew. So yeah, that's how I found out I was pregnant, this and the third. So let's get into how everybody found out that I was pregnant the day of me giving birth. So y'all, let's get into my labor and delivery with my second pregnancy. I'm going to let y'all know how everybody found out that I was pregnant the day of me giving birth. My, labor and delivery. So, I had walked to the little store. We had like a little gas station and a little, Dollar General by us. So I had walked to the store to get me something to drink and a few of my, craving snacks. And I noticed like I started feeling like little contractions in my back, but they wasn't intense though. I'm just thinking my back hurting because, I'm big and swole and I'm walking to the store. That's all I'm assuming. So I gets back with my boyfriend, I'm at his house because I was at his house majority of the time. So I'm at his house and I'm in his room laying down. So comes that night, I falls asleep. I'm asleep and next thing you know, I feel the pain in my back again, which was contractions. So the longer I sat there, the stronger they got. So I can even show y'all when I started marking my contractions. They like literally, I can show y'all right here. Now I'm tossing and turning, like everything happened so fast, y'all. So long story short, I'm tossing and turning. My contractions start to get stronger. So then my boyfriend had stepped out the room. My boyfriend came back in the room. He seen me like, bent over with my hand on my back and I'm rocking and I'm blowing like, so he like, what's wrong with you? Is you good? He was like, what's wrong? I'm like, my back hurt. I think I'm having contractions. So he's sitting right there. He like, like, what you want me to do? What you need me to do? Like, do you want me to go bring some water? Like, I'm like, I don't know, because at this time I'm contracting, so I'm like, shut up talking to me. I don't know. So I'm just a rocking, y'all. Meanwhile, still nobody knows that I'm pregnant but me and him. I'm rocking. I'm like, so he like, no, I'm finna run you some water. So he goes in the bathroom, he run me some water, and he get me some clothes out. So he helps me get up and put me in the tub. So I'm sitting there and, you know, I'm rocking, and again, that's crazy. I get to the tub, contractions stop. So I'm sitting in the tub for a good little minute. So then, you know, I takes my bath or whatever. I gets out, I crawl back into the bed. I'm going to sleep because I'm like, okay, finally I can sleep. This and third, it starts again, but this time they 10 times stronger than what it was before. You know, like pain wise, I would keep it to myself until I can't take it no more. So that's why I didn't go out and go get him. He had to keep walking in and check up on me. So I'm in there and I'm like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So remind y'all, for 2 days straight, I'm balled up in pain. And I'm telling him like, okay, I can take it, I can handle it, I can handle it. That last day, baby, I think it was like 2, 3 in the morning. I'm talking about some contractions was like, I'm talking about some tearing my back up. So he comes down, he was like, I think we need to go to the hospital. He was like, you been like this 2 days, like we need to go to the hospital. I didn't want to go to the hospital and he ended up sending me home, or go to the hospital and then keep me until I give birth. Like I didn't want to be in there that long. So I'm like, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. So he like, is you sure? I'm like, I'm good. So then I ended up falling asleep again. I jumped right back up, contractions back at it. So now I'm bent over. He like, no. So next thing you know, I felt like, I don't know, water or something. I don't know if I had no peed on myself or what, y'all. But I don't know if it was water or pee. But like my legs were wet. But not like soaking wet. But it was like wet. So I stood up and I'm like, did I pee on myself? And he was like, did you? So I'm patting and touching. He patting and touching. He go run me some more water. And by this time, he don't get me his big shirt, his big pajama pants. I ain't even care at the time. I go take another bath, get out, put on his clothes. I'm sitting there rocking. By this time, the sun get ready to come up, and it was a school day. I remember it was a school day. So remind y'all, he stayed around the corner from my mama's house. I didn't even text my mama. This thing I know, it's like 6, 7. I'm like, I can't do it. I tell him I can't do it. I have to go to the hospital. So I text my auntie because I know around 7 she getting her kids ready, and by 8 she's dropping her kids off to school. So I text my auntie. I'm like, hey TT, trying to sound so innocent, like, hey TT, my back is in pain. When you get done dropping the babies off, can you take me to the ER? So she like, yes, no problem, no problem. So I'm sitting there, waiting for my auntie to come. She ends up telling me she's pulling up. Pulls up. I tell him, okay, I'm finna go to the hospital. Now, remind you, he stayed with Maya. Auntie dropped me out to the ER, and she was like, you need me to go in with you? And I'm like, oh, no, it's okay. It's just my back. I should be out in a little bit. So he text me and let me know when you out, and then, I'll come back, come get you. I'm like, yes, ma'am. So I goes to the ER, I signed in or whatever. So I guess by me being pregnant, they took me to the back immediately. So before I can even sit down, they called me to the back. So they like, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, I'm by, such amount of weeks. I feel like I'm contracting. I was like, because, this been going on for 2 days straight. So they tell me to put this gown on. She came in and she was holding my hand, and then she was like, every time you feel like you have a contraction, squeeze my hand. She was telling them just by me squeezing her hand. She told the doctor, she was like, oh, that's too close. They're like 3 minutes apart. We need to be getting her over to the hospital like now, like, transferring her to the hospital now. So they get the paramedics, and here I go again. I was contracting around this time so bad that I didn't care about a phone. I didn't care about nothing. I was caring about getting to the hospital so I could deliver this baby. That's all I was caring about. I had forgot about my phone, y'all. When my auntie told me, let me know when you done, I forgot to tell her, like, hey, they're taking me to the hospital. That's how bad the contractions was. So I goes to this hospital. I'm not even in the room. I'm inside a waiting area, like the waiting rooms with the curtains. So I'm like, oh my goodness, like, somebody please come help me, because like this baby is finna come out of me like right now. So another nurse comes in, and she got this clipboard, and she asked me the same questions I already just answered. Like, that would be pissing me off. So she like, yeah, what's your name? What's your last name? And as I'm trying to tell her, I'm getting contractions, y'all. So I'm like, and she was so rude. She just was, you said your name is what? And I'm still contracted. So another nurse coming there, and I forgot what she asked me. or something like that. Because I sat inside that little waiting area for like, I'll say an hour. I was there for an hour. I don't know why. I think they said something about the rooms was full, or they was cleaning the room out for me or something like that. She was talking to me about something. I think she was asking me like my birth plans or something like that, which I had already told my OBGYN. She was like, you're very close, so we're having a baby today. So she was like, we're for sure having a baby today. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So when she said that, that what made me, you know, look to the side. I'm like, okay, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Check my phone. My auntie had them call me and text me and this and the third. My boyfriend had them called me and blew me up multiple times. So I had to text my auntie. She was like, hey, you still, you know, needed a way back home? So I text her, I'm like, no, auntie, thank you. I'm going into labor. How is that a way to tell somebody you going into labor? So my auntie like, huh? I'm like, yeah, I'm going into labor, girl. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going into labor. Remind you, we did not tell nobody that I was pregnant. So it was like, my auntie like, huh? You said your back was hurting. I'm like, yeah, I'm going into labor. She's like, okay, well, let me hurry up and put some clothes on. I'm gonna be on the way up there. Where you at? Like, yeah, they don't transfer me to the hospital, auntie. I'm good. I'm going into labor. I'm like, okay. So she goes and she, I guess she goes tells my grandma, whatever. I didn't even tell my grandma, y'all. I didn't even tell my grandma. So she goes and she tell my grandma, whatever. So y'all know my grandma coming. So then I called my boyfriend. I did not even know he was blowing me up because that's how bad the contractions was. So I called my boyfriend, and at this time he was asleep. So he finally answered, and I'm like, you know, like, babe, I'm going into labor. And he was like, you is? And I'm like, yeah, they got me in the waiting room, and I'm finna go into my room. They finna set everything up. So like, yeah, since auntie and them coming back up here, you could just, you know, they could swing by and pick you up, and you could be on the way up here with them. So he was like, okay, yeah. I'm finna start getting stuff ready. So he started packing my clothes and stuff like that. And then I told him that, you know, he could take Maya to my mama. So I had text my mama and I told mom that I was going to labor. She was like, oh, okay, you didn't tell me. She was like, ah. Like, we basically like laughed it off because she was like, girl, it's funny you hid your whole pregnancy, this and the third. She was like, I would have never known, this and the third. Like, yeah, bring Maya over here is that so y'all could go up there to the hospital, this and the third. So I'm like, mom already in the hospital. So she was like, oh, okay, tell him to bring Maya. So boom, he goes and he dropped Maya off. My auntie and them swing by and pick him up, and they all come to the hospital. So I'm laying in the bed and I'm like, so my grandma was like, why you ain't tell me, Zah? And and I was like, I didn't tell nobody. We didn't tell nobody. And she was like, okay, what you having? I'm like, a girl. And my grandma is one of those grandmas where, like, if the doctor come in and give you medicine, she want to know how much they finna give you, what's the name, why she giving it to you, wants to know everything. Like, literally, anything that goes into your body while she laying right there, she gonna know what it is, why you getting it, what's the side effects. She's all that. She don't play. He comes in there, they check me, and they like, yes, ma'am, she's right there. In a little bit, we finna get her to push. Yeah, I do kind of feel weird because even though that's my grandma, she probably changed my diapers. Like, I don't want you standing out right there while my legs, you know, got up and this. So I'm like, okay. Because remind y'all, I was a little nervous because with Maya, I didn't have a vaginal birth. I had a C-section, so I never, you know, pushed her out. So with this baby, I literally had to, you know, push her out. And I'm like, I never did that. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it right. This, that, and the third. So next thing I know, he comes in there. They start setting everything up. Everybody getting their position. So he like, oh, I did get an epidural. I forgot about that part. I did get an epidural. So at this time, I wasn't feeling anything. I'm just sitting there chilling. So my boyfriend, you know, you hold up this leg, and they got me positioned. So next thing you know, like I said, I never did this before. So I'm sitting up, and he's like, push like you gotta poop. And I'm like, ah. But at the same time, I don't feel anything. So I'm pushing, but I don't know if I'm pushing right. And they're like, we almost there. So I'm like, shit, I'm doing something good. You know, I'm doing something good. So they was like, you feel that? When you feel that next contraction, push. I'm like, I don't feel nothing. Like, well, just try to push anyway, try to push. So I'm like, girl. So yeah, I pushed like a good 3 times, and then she like came out, and I didn't even feel her come out, because like I said, I had the epidural. So I'm like, so next thing you know, I had no push. That last time, I was like, there was like 1, 2, 3, push, and then they started counting down from 10, and I'm like, huh. And it's no, I hear him say, she's right there, she's right there. And they say, no, he holding the baby in the air. And I'm like, I did that. Like, I pushed her out. Me pushed her out. It was so emotional, y'all, that I had tears coming down my face. So I'm trying not to like show my emotions, because like I said, I don't like crying in front of nobody. I don't like nobody seeing me cry. So like, I was trying to wipe them away, but it just kept coming down like non-stop. And it was tears of joy. Like, she was so beautiful. Like, I'm like, that's my baby. Like, I did it. I did that. Again, I did that though. So yeah, they put her on the bed. They was wiping her off and stuff. I laid her on my chest, and like, I'm rubbing her eyes, because you know she got stuff on her eyes. All babies do, but I'm rubbing her eyes. I'm like, you know, bitch, my baby needs to see. She needs to see who her mama is. So I'm wiping her eyes and stuff, and I'm just looking at her, and I'm like, you know, I really just pushed the baby out. Like, I got another mini me. Like, I did that. So I was staring at my baby, and then my boyfriend started crying, and I'm like, you know, oh, like, don't start me people crying in here. Like, it was just so many emotions. And you know, I'm sharing some of the clips, y'all know, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, I have another beautiful baby girl. Like, oh my goodness. And then her name, like, we for the longest was trying to find a name, and like, what I had called her fit her so perfectly. So like, her nickname is Lani. So after that, they had no weigh her and stuff like that. Hers was like real quick. I didn't have any complications. She was very healthy, very aware, very smart, because she was like very like looking around, very observant. She was standing to faces. Everybody in the room had got to hold her. And yeah, so I had fed her. He had ended up staying with us until like, I'll say the last day. He had went back and got Maya, because we was coming home the next day. So yeah, y'all, and I was just like, oh my goodness. Now when I wasn't there, I was missing Maya so much. Like, I was crying while holding Lonnie, because I'm like, I miss my big baby. I can't wait for her to meet her sister. She's a big sister now. And Maya at the time was like 2 going on 3. So I'm like, you know, she's a big sister. I know she's gonna be, you know, so excited to have a sister. This, that, and the third. So while we was in there or whatever, they tried to say something about she needed to go to the NICU. That's why my grandma was like, they just be trying to find any little thing that's wrong with a baby. Because she had already had all her tests. Her tests had came back, you know, perfectly fine. She was doing well. She was drinking. Her weight was good. I'm talking, she was a big baby. Her weight was good. And then the day before we were supposed to go home, they said that she needs to go to the NICU. So I'm like, what for? And they're like, oh, just to watch over her for a little bit. And I'm like, they could not tell me like what was wrong. So I started crying and breaking down again, because I was like, you know, is it me? Like, Maya, I understand she was a little, you know, underweight. And then now that, you know, my second baby perfectly fine, y'all still saying she didn't go to the NICU. So that next day, I was getting discharged. But before I got discharged, I sat down there with her for, you know, some time. But it was crazy, because when I went down there, she was under a light. She was just laying in the bed. No cords hooked up to her. She was laying in the bed like she was laying in the bed, you know, next to me. Nothing hooked up to her. Perfectly normal like she was when she was in the room with us. So I didn't understand why she needed to go to the NICU. So I left that day, and then that next day, my baby was getting ready to come home. So literally, I could have stayed in the hospital till they released her, because they released her the day after I, you know, went home. So when I called there and checked on her, they was like, yeah, baby will be ready to be discharged in the morning. So I'm like, can you explain to me why she went to the NICU? And she was like, oh, it was a misunderstanding. All her test results and everything came back normal. So in my head, I'm just like, then why would y'all, take her to the NICU if she's already had test results and they came back perfectly fine? Why would y'all take her to the NICU? It didn't make sense to me, but I was just so happy that, my baby was being discharged the day after me. So, I woke up extra early, went to go get my baby. And it didn't take me long. Like, literally, I walked in there, told them who I was there for. They gave me my baby, and I walked out with her just that easy. And I was just like, oh, my goodness. So when she got home, I took her directly to my mama's house and let everybody see her. My mama seen her. My mama held her. My siblings seen her. Then I had took her to her daddy's house. And then everybody over there wanted to see her. I don't want anybody holding her yet. But his mama didn't meet the baby until 3 days later. So yeah, when we got there, we was in his room. Like, we stayed in his room majority of the time because I was barely home. Like, he was asking me, like, y'all come spend the night over here. Y'all come over here. Y'all come over here. So when we came over there, he literally didn't want us to go. We kind of didn't want to go either. He was like there since I had brung her to meet his siblings. And y'all, like, if y'all was at his house since y'all got home, how is mama meeting the baby 4 days later? I don't know. But we was in there. She was there 4 days after she got out the hospital. That's when she was like, can I bring the baby in her room so she could see the baby? And I let her see the baby. And yeah, that's why everybody was like, Maya looks some more like her daddy. And Lonnie looks some more of like me. Which I feel like both of them look like me. Everybody be just trying to give him like little cool points and stuff like that. But, I carried them. I don't care who seeds they was. But, I carried them. So they gonna have my genes. So they get all the good hair and stuff from. But yeah, y'all, everybody had met my baby. And then still to this day, people like, oh, you girl, you wrong for that. My advice to first time parents and stuff like that, moms and stuff like that, you don't have to rush and tell your business. You could tell your mama, you could tell your daddy. But outsiders, let it be. Leave it as that. Let them think what they want to think. You don't have to run and tell them nothing because at the end of the day, who gonna help you with your baby? Nobody but you and the ones that you have now, your support system. If you don't consider them as a support system, they shouldn't be in your business. Simple as that. But yeah, y'all, I know it wasn't as much as it was my first story time. Because like I said, we kept this pregnancy to ourselves. So it was more, positive and peaceful. I know it isn't much, but, that was me finding out how I was pregnant for the second time. And my little mini, labor and delivery story. So if y'all have any more video ideas, make sure you DM me or comment down below. With that being said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Send this to a friend or a family member and stay tuned for the next video.